Oh my god. I'm in a piss poor mood. Due to my life being piss poor. When your life is piss poor, it leads to a piss poor attitude. Everyone's talking about the Twitch community guidelines. Okay, me personally, I didn't pay them any attention. I heard like it was gonna stop like, tit streamers and I guess people who do hate speech or something. I figured hate speech was like you were having a whole Hitler moment. But I guess hate speech at this point is telling someone to go kill themselves. That's like hate speech now. That's barely a hate sandwich. I mean a hate sentence. I'm just a little hungry. Clanky sent me the community guideline video as some Twitch streamers were watching and reacting to it, and I figured, okay. And while watching it, I found this shit incredibly funny. I also learned some new words. I learned soy boy, not to be confused with soy bomb. Soy boy is a pejorative which is often used with the right-wing online communities to describe men lacking masculine characteristics, bearing many similarities to the slang term cuck. The term is based on the presence of phytoestrogens contained within soybeans, which have led some to conclude that soy products feminize men who consume them. Oh my god, right, Smokey? Don't mind the dog, she's just being a pain in the ass. I had to put her in the timeout because she ate my fucking engineer boots and then she shit and pissed on the carpet. Little bastard. Another term that I saw in the comments, a beta cuck is an individual who did not obtain his/her manhood or having no qualities of being confident and chooses appropriate decisions rather than choosing a risky one. It is also known as being a wussy. Beta cuck, my god, the stuff that kids come up with today. So let's watch the town hall meeting. Force. Right off the bat, it starts off with this horrible music that offends me in ways that I probably shouldn't say because I'll probably be banned from Twitch on the 19th if I do. Or am I free to say what I want for the next 9 days? That crappy music plays for a solid 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes. Oh my god, this is what's wrong with the fucking generation. They listen to this whoop 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 music instead of listening to Axl Rose just scream in your fucking face. You in the jungle, baby! Wake up! Time to die! And you're sitting there like, fuck, man. This place is dangerous. Damn, almost 10 minutes of horrible electronica music.
For a special Twitch town hall, how excited are you that we get to have one of those today? This is an abnormal thing in our work week here at Twitch Studios, and I'm super excited, and I'm joined by Brian, aka Citizen. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on, Anna.
When Brian...
Anne's really cute, but she kind of looks soulless. Brian... I'm looking at Brian, and all I can think is, like, the guy has the look that women are interested in, but he's not pulling it off.
Brian comes, we get to talk about really important, exciting Twitch things. So I'm really excited to hear, Brian, why we're having a Twitch town hall today. What's going on?
Yeah, so we're here to talk.
Twisted mustache, honestly, only works if you're like in the gangs of New York from the 1930s and you're street fighting without a shirt on.
Talk about the community guidelines.
Mm-hmm. And the community guidelines, for anyone who's just tuning in and is like, what? What is Twitch? What are community guidelines? Help me understand, Brian. What are community guidelines?
So
help us, Brian. We all have mental disabilities when it comes to learning and reading comprehension. Quickly, Brian, to the rescue.
Oh, I'm going to say something. I'm going to start the show off with something really controversial, okay? The Twitch community is the best community that there is, right, you guys?
Oh my god, I want to hang myself. It's just, wow. And I thought my Twitch streams were bad.
So the community guidelines are what helps us keep the community really awesome. It's basically like our Constitution. It has some rules for streamers and viewers.
It's like the Constitution. You stole a lot of ideas from the Native American tribes with their council meetings and rules of law. Oh wait, this isn't American history.
But it's not every single rule. It's not really in the weeds. But it's very aspirational as well. It's about what do we want the community to be.
I don't think that's very controversial at all. I think the Twitch community is pretty much the best one there is. So,
The Twitch community is as toxic as any other community on the motherfucking planet. Who the fuck are we kidding? If it involves the internet and a community of people, toxicity is part of the mix, one way or another. Twitch has led to supporting some of the biggest fucknuts on the planet. The bigger Twitch streamers can literally do what they want, and it's like consequence free. They can actually sit there and watch a television show they're not supposed to broadcast, and it's totally okay. Tit streamers making big money, totally okay. But I can't get a sponsorship just because I like the 7 dirty words.
so the reason you're here to talk about the community guidelines today is because there have been recently made some changes to the community guidelines, right? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we've made changes to the community guidelines before. When we started Twitch, Twitch started with one really powerful idea. Twitch is a place for gamers to come together and watch gaming content from all over the world. And over time, the community got really passionate about exploring other areas as well. And so we decided to kind of
Other areas such as trolling and doxing. Good old-fashioned internet pastimes.
experiment with that. And the first big experiment we did was the Bob Ross Marathon. Classic Twitch moment.
Yeah.
So from there, we opened a new category.
The Bob Ross Marathon, classic Twitch moment. If you want to gouge your eyes out and be bored to death. I mean, I'm sure Bob Ross is a nice guy when he's alive, but my God, watching Bob Ross paint is the equivalent of watching paint dry. Except there's a stoner friend next to you telling you about how superior the sound of vinyl records are compared to CDs and MP3s, as you all blow hits out of this giant hookah bomb that's in the middle of the fucking room. True story.
We opened creative. And everyone started to just really love that the creative community could be not really all about games, but embody that same spirit that we found.
That's beautiful spirit of watching girls do ASMR with like these weird little white ear cups, and they rub the ear cups and they whisper into it, I had soup today. It was very yummy. It was so good. That's all these chicks are doing, making bank. That's a great fucking part of Twitch, man. Let me tell you. A bunch of lonely pervs listening to a woman whisper. How hard is it to just get your money together and instead of giving it to some fucking broad on the internet? I'm not trying to be asshole, I'm being for real. You know, how hard is it to take that money you're giving to this chick and get a hooker to whisper in your ear, dude? But if you got a little more money, get a high-class escort girl. At least you know she's clean and you can take her out to a restaurant and stuff and people might actually think she's a real date. Then she could tickle your nuts with a feather and whisper in your ears. This is gonna cost another $1,500. Oh, Becky. He's horrible. This is why he's not big on YouTube.
In the other gaming areas of the site. And so we asked our community, we actually did a survey last year. What would you guys like to see the future be? Do you guys want us to stay just gaming, or would you guys like to have the freedom to create non-gaming content? And the response was
Twitch
really
is going
resounding.
right back to being Justin
An
TV.
overwhelming majority of people really wanted to go and have the freedom to explore, to bring different aspects of their personality to different types of content. And because of that, we've got a lot of really new, awesome categories on Twitch that weren't there before. From tabletop gaming to obviously the...
Like girls basically doing cam shows, but without getting naked or doing anything sexual. Awesome. And guys making fun of the chicks doing it and getting paid for it.
Top kick!
obviously
Oh yeah, I forgot about the tabletop gaming stuff like that. Okay, they got some like legitimate areas like that, but that shit is so fucking boring, dude. Like, I don't know why you'd want to watch Twitch to do that. You could like go to conventions. I've done this. I've seen rooms full of people, some of them looking like they didn't get outside much, and that's coming from me, who were playing tabletop games, and it was so boring. It was so boring. And the problem is, whenever you bring a date or a girlfriend to those things, every loser and his mother starts hitting on her and asking for her number so they can get in contact with you. Like, you fucking liar. You don't need her number to try and get in contact with me. Get the fuck out of here. If you want to get in contact with me, you can get in contact with me. I probably won't answer you because I know you ain't got shit to say.
Creatives, obviously to creative. We got music, fitness, and also IRL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously the point is kind of that Twitch is made by the people who use it, right? That the
Right.
community influences how we how we make decisions here.
Exactly. And so as we've kind of entered into this new non-gaming content world, a lot of people have asked us to kind of clarify some things about the guidelines. So we've heard a lot of feedback from the community that the community, you guys want 3 new things. You want more clarity, you want more consistency, and in some areas you want more strength.
Those aren't the things I'd ask for. I'd ask for some exposure. I think I should be on the front page of Twitch. You put some real boring people up there, dude. Like, Twitch has some boring fuckers up there. Some of them are even worse at video games than me, and they're not even funny. At least I'm funny. 2, I don't really have a second demand.
And so we know it's taken some time to get here, but to give people a little insight into how we kind of come up with this, we have teams from all over Twitch. Moderation, legal, marketing, product teams, engineers. Then we also talk with the whole company about where we want to go. And then we also work with people in the community.
I can't really trust it. Forgive me. I turned into Tweety Bird. I can't really trust anything Twitch has to say or any decisions they make. Twitch reached out to DSP Gaming to be featured on TwitchCon. DSP Gaming, the dude who got caught whacking off.
What is up, everyone? Hello, hello, and welcome. Oh, the camera's on. The camera's been on the whole time, huh? I don't even know. Hello.
The dude who got caught whacking off again, literally 24 hours ago.
Next to the mic and rip a nice big fart. Is that what I did? Popsicolo says, it's a clip of you grunting and moaning during a break or pre-stream of Mario Sunshine. Was it when I was stretching? Today? Maybe it was today when I was stretching. I was going, oh, yeah. Oh, the stretch is good. I think I did it this morning, right? I think that's what it was. We're gonna listen to this live. Let's see what this is. Hold on. Oh, I heard it. Oh, it was probably me stretching. Actually, it doesn't even sound like me. My microphone was muted, so that wasn't me. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I can 100% guarantee you that it was not me rubbing anything out. It was not me.
Was perfect for Twitch streaming at TwitchCon. They couldn't have picked me. You know, I'm granted I don't have the following and stuff, but still. I mean, if they actually had people that knew how to sift through stuff for talent, Twitch would probably be in a better state of affairs. I mean, let's be real. Twitch's talent scouts are about as diligent as a guy going through a porn website like Pornhub to find a good thing to whack off to before bed. He doesn't have that desire inside of himself to look for the best possible porn, even if he has to go past 50 pages to find that one good clip. No, he just goes, most popular. This looks good. Click, yank, good enough for me, good night. That's how they operate. Oh, they're already popular on Twitch. This is obviously the best thing going on. We want you to be on some crap we're coming up with and to be paid well for it.
And we work with people that are third parties, that are experts in their field and moderation and community building and all those other things. So we've been working together with all of those people over the past several months to make sure that the updates that we come up with are really strong. And this is just going to be the first set. We have a lot of other ones that are still in the oven, but since these updates we felt were really strong, we wanted to get them into the community as soon as possible.
Yeah. I mean, what you're saying is basically that just how huge of a job this is and how much that people here seem to care that it gets done right.
Yeah, one of the greatest things about being working at Twitch is how many other...
That awkward moment when you're so distracted by these miserable ass animals. Well, the cat isn't really issue. It's that damn puppy being a dickhead. A pure dickhead. That I forgot to record the video. Fuck me.
People that are team members are also members of the Twitch community and really passionate. And so that means that we get a lot of really diverse and interesting perspectives on things. And since everybody uses the platform and everyone's a community member, they've all got a really good thing. There's so many meetings where we're like, what? Wow, we didn't think about that. And then we're like, well, that means we have to rethink. Oh my God. And so that's how the process kind of works.
Yeah, and I know that there's a lot of planned improvements always for Twitch and for things like community guidelines, but I know today you're here to talk.
Admittedly, this is so boring. I spaced out on everything he was saying, and I realized that what he was saying was supposed to be funny and humorous, and to give you an insight as to what's going on behind the scenes and how they're just people and it's a crazy train here, guys. But honest to God, I really zonked out. I was thinking about the last time I was high. It was beautiful. Summer afternoon, out in the forest, tripping balls like you wouldn't believe. Thinking I was Pocahontas from the Disney film, which ironically enough wasn't a love story in real life. But whatever, I was painting with the colors of the wind.
Today you're here to talk about 2 specific ones, right?
Yeah, so in the future we're going to be covering, we're going to do probably another one of these about IRL as a whole category and some changes that we want to make there. We're still working on them. And we're also going to get into the weeds on enforcement. So what happens when you break the community guidelines? Some of the things today we talk about are going to touch that a little bit.
What happens if you break the community guidelines? I'll tell you right now, it's going to be how it's always been with Twitch. It depends on how big your channel is. If you're Dr. Disrespect or any other scarce voice, whatever, the dude from Cloud9, if you're one of them and you get like 40K views minimum on your stream, they won't do shit to you. They won't do a thing. They might possibly send you an email and go, could you tone down on that, please? Some people found it offensive, and there was a lot of tweets about you on Twitter. If you're small, and you know what small is. You know what small is. You're small, I'm small. You get it? Okay? If you're just the average Twitch streamer that isn't some big fucker, forget it, dude. It's game over. Game over. You're gonna like do something, not even realize it's bad, wake up the next day, try and Twitch stream, find your account banned. Hell, they might even ban you if they find you on social media doing something and somebody else decides to send it to them. Can you believe that this fucknut is doing this? Oh my God, he said something about Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken. I mean, he was quoting a Bare Naked Ladies song, but I was very offended. My great-grandmother's cousin was Asian. And then Twitch is like, they're gone.
We're actually rethinking it from like a holistic, like whole new methodology. And so we're still working through that because there's obviously a lot of different things to cover. And then there's a bunch of other small things that we're going to kind of change over time too. But today we are going to talk about anti-harassment, hateful conduct, as well as sexual content policies.
Good night, everybody. Goodbye. That's the end of my Twitch channel.
Okay, let's dive into that. Let's start with anti-harassment. Tell me a little bit about why that's an important area to update and some of the changes that have been made.
Right. So harassing people and being hateful, is, to be clear, has never been allowed on Twitch, right?
What is wrong with being hateful? I'm hateful. Everybody here is hateful. The world is full of hateful people. I think the entire world right now, only 1% of people aren't hateful. And they're rich and beautiful and have privileged lives. The rest of us are hateful motherfuckers. Because it's just the belly of the beast. Some of us live a life where you don't always get what you want, you can't always get what you need, but if you try sometimes, you might find you don't get shit at all. So all you have left is hateful. Looking at somebody just thinking, God, I wish you burn up in a fire, you motherfucker, you and your nice legs, your dancing feet, going to the club, stealing my bitch. I can't stand you. I hope you die. Eat a Tide Pod, motherfucker. Do the world a favor. That's hateful. And it might just be true on some levels. In fact, you could even look at the truth as being hateful. I've told the truth my entire career on YouTube. Guess what's happened? People label me as a hater. I'm just telling you the truth. Oh, he's a hater. Blizzard and Activision have made over $4 billion in microtransactions. It's never going to stop. They're trying to rob you and just milk every cent out of you because they know they can. They know you have an addictive personality. We have to fight back. Stop being hateful. I love microtransactions.
But the guidelines, we wanted to add a lot more clarity so that people could really understand what was going on there.
I'm glad RuPaul's Drag Race doesn't ban being hateful. That whole show would be over.
Vision, and this is a vision, we know we're not 100% there yet, right? Is for everyone to be able to come to Twitch with their full, authentic selves and be free from harassment and hate.
Oof. Yeah.
But I am being my authentic self, but I'm pretty hateful. Doesn't that by proxy mean I gotta go? Zill's YouTube channel, this is sad. Me and Zill just started doing Twitch, and it's pretty much over already. We have 9 days left. We finally got into it due to popular demand. People dig us doing Twitch, and already we are probably going to be banned in 9 days. But we're just being our authentic selves.
Right?
Totally.
Like, that's what we want for the community. Now, we understand that that's a long road. And honestly, we might never get there. Like, we're probably going to be sitting here having a lot more conversations about the steps that we're taking.
So Twitch is basically now perfect for that little girl who's trying to trans into a boy that's really, really annoying. The blonde one with the glasses that always screams everybody's transphobic and shit like that.
Let's have a chat about transphobia, shall we?
Hell no, to the no, no, no. Hell to the no, hell to the no, to the no, no, no.
Yeah, Twitch is going to be for her now. And big Twitch streamers, they make a lot of money because they're never going to get rid of them. Twitch likes money too much.
To make sure that we're doing that. But today we have some changes that we think are really good steps forward in that. And so to start with, we added a lot of clarifications to what actually is harassment. You can actually go visit our new help article, and we have some things listed out there. And they're things that like most people are not going to be surprised about. So like things like bullying, telling someone to kill themselves, doxing someone, malicious rating, and even calling somebody names or harassing things, like cam girl.
What?
What the fuck is this? I don't know.
You can't call a cam girl a cam girl. What the fuck is this? Oh my god. I got nothing for that. I have no witty retort or no witty rapport. I can't think straight. I can't come up with a funny analogy. I'm just blown away. On top of that, telling someone to kill themselves, it's not something I do as a guy who's lived with depression, who's tried to commit suicide, who's been to psych wards, who knew people who did commit suicide, who's known other people that were depressed. I never take it upon myself to tell anyone to kill themselves. No, never. But people have said that to me a couple times. Some little piss ants, and I'm like, please, you little shit snack. Do you not understand I have 31,000 subscribers? How many do you have? None. And you're telling me to kill myself. You need to go fuck yourself. Go home and eat a bag of dicks. That's your lunch, little man. I want you to repent for your sins against me. You're Chaz-phobic. Ooh, that's going to be a t-shirt. I'm going to tell my fucking designer right now. You're Chaz-phobic. Make it happen. It's a t-shirt. But for real, in a way, I guess it limits people's freedom of speech. Fuck. I really don't know about that one. I guess you can't call someone a cuck anymore either. How is that hate speech? Fuck, man. Damn. I guess, like, my Twitch stream is over. Zill calls me a fag every 5 seconds.
The full article has the whole list of things. We wanted to add a lot of clarity there.
That's great, because if someone has the question of, is what I'm doing harassment, it's good to have a place to go and find out, I suppose, if it's not clear to somebody.
Yes.
I remember the old days of harassment was like you had to literally grab a woman's ass at work. You know, like you had to like grope her or something. That was harassment. I remember that back then. I remember watching videos where like you couldn't whip out your penis and stuff like that. You know, common sense shit. But, you know, back in the old days, before the internet was big, you had to watch these videos and orientation explaining to you harassment. Like if a female coworker's wearing a skirt, you can't, you know, look at her climb up the stair ladder and then take a Polaroid picture, because that's how far back we're talking. You don't know what a Polaroid camera is, go Google it. So that was harassment. And you couldn't continuously say sexual things like, oh, I want to put my dick in your bunghole, baby. Or, well, you want to touch butts. That was harassment. Now, harassment is like looking at a woman. They call it rape with your eyes, which is surprising. Now I'm afraid to fucking look at women. What are you looking at? The sky. Why aren't you looking at me? Because I'm worried someone will scream, I'm raping you with my fucking eyes in this weird world we now live in. God, harassment is telling someone you think they suck. I remember bullying used to be literally bully was someone who beat the shit out of you physically and took your money, then called you a faggot, and or before, while, or during, I should say. Now, bullying is calling someone a faggot. You know, I wish I was growing up now, because it would have been so much easier, dude. You know, it would have been so much easier. The worst I'd have to worry about was someone calling me a cuck. When I was growing up, it was racial slurs, getting the shit beaten out of you, getting your shoes, coat, and your hat taken, getting what little lunch money you had, your backpack stolen. I remember when I was a kid, right? Oh god, Grandpa Gundam stories. I got the shit beat out of me, obviously, by bigger guys, and then they wrote faggot all over me. Okay? They wrote I was a faggot. On my body, dude. On my clothes. With a spray gun. With spray paint, you know. They wrote it all over me. I went home looking like the Riddler. Instead of like question marks, it was the word faggot, homo, I give blowjobs, I take it up there, all sorts of shit, all fucked up, walking home looking pathetic. That was bullying. God damn. Kids today. Used to be the old people complained about how crazy you were. I'm gonna be the first old generation looking at the kids coming up and going, they're all pussies.
Absolutely. So we want broadcasters to be empowered to know that, like, to be able to say, okay, I know what I'm doing is within the rules. And a lot of times people were kind of finding themselves doing things and they found themselves on the wrong end of the law, so to speak, and they weren't
With my skin tone, I'm always on the wrong end of the law, brother, so it ain't nothing new for me.
really sure about that. So we wanted to kind of take that out as a problem area.
Right. Totally.
And so the other big thing we've done is we've added a concept called hateful conduct. Previously, we had a section that was about hate speech, and there is a list of sort of what we call protected classes that that were protected under this sort of hate speech guideline. But what we realized is that it's not always just the words you use, but it's how you use them. It's the context and the intent of how someone's doing it, and actions can actually be hateful as well. So we've added a new guidelines in that area to protect people from those things. And we actually have added, we've expanded our list of protected classes
Protected classes, race, religion, gender, and gender identity. Oh my god. Disability. Well, someone's club fucking footed, I can't say it. National origin. You know, people can be proud of where they're born by an accident of birth. I can't make fun of them for the same thing. Sex and sexual orientation. So you can't say you got laid last night and you're a raging heterosexual. Age. I guess ageism's out of the window. Nobody's calling me old anymore. Thanks, Twitch. Medical condition. Yeah, I guess depression is an issue now. You mean I can actually get people in trouble if they piss on me for being depressed? I'll look into that later. Physical characteristics. So if you're a big-nosed motherfucker with a fat neck, no one can tell you anymore. Veteran status. Come on, dude. I think a veteran of a war would have thicker skin than any motherfucker on the internet. Especially if they got PTSD. They have flashbacks badder than most of the motherfuckers running around talking shit.
Have that on screen. So you guys can read all of these here. It's race, religion, gender identity, ethnicity, disability, national origin, sex and sexual orientation, age, medical condition, physical characteristics, and veteran status are all of the ones that are currently in the guidelines.
And so when we say protected classes, what does that mean?
That means that if your conduct, which would be inappropriate, and it's specifically directed towards that group of people or a person because of that characteristic that they have about themselves, that we may deem that hateful conduct.
Gotcha.
Which is going to be sort of a step above the other categories that we already have for enforcement. So the other big change that we've made is that if the admins deem that you have been hateful and that your conduct is hateful, it's going to result in an immediate, indefinite suspension. We're not going to give people second chances on this stuff. This is really, really, really important. Hate has no place in the Twitch community.
You know what's interesting about all these super diehard liberals that I find amazing? Is how close they are to being fascists. You ever notice that? it's just like they've put the line in the sand and there are no exceptions whatsoever, which is a lie because Twitch has made exceptions for big Twitch streamers all the time, and I doubt that will change. So that's bullshit right there. The line in the sand is ridiculous. If they think you went over, they're not going to investigate. They're not going to look into it. They're not going to check the context. They're just going to go, get out of here, you racist homophobe. Ooh, that'll teach you. Unless you're a big Twitch streamer, then we're really sorry for this mistake, sir.
Racist, sexist, homophobic.
Whatsoever. And we want to make that really clear to everyone, and we want to make everyone really clear about the consequences of being hateful. We do not want you as we simply don't want you as part of the community if you're going to be hateful.
So now
We want you all, unless we don't agree with how you are. Does anyone see the inconsistencies here? The implications are astronomically horrible. They want to build a utopia that is not possible nor sustainable. Human nature is proof of that. I'm sorry, this isn't Star Trek The Next Generation. We're not in the 25th century traveling the stars to boldly go where no man has gone before.
I question your actions, Captain. I question your choices. I question your loyalty.
You know, there are some words I've known since I was a schoolboy. With the first link, the chain is forged. The first speech censured, the first thought forbidden, the first freedom denied, chains us all irrevocably. Those words were uttered by Judge Aaron Satie as wisdom and warning. The first time any man's freedom is trodden on, we're all damaged. I fear that today...
How dare you! You undermine our very way of life. I will expose you for what you are. I've brought down bigger men than you, Picard.
This is, what, 2018? Justin Bieber is a thing. Logan Paul's tasering dead rats. This is the world we live in. Donald Trump's the president, dude. Like, how can the president have more freedom than... Oh, that makes sense. Forget it.
now we get all these unique reports, and I know that you're also giving admins kind of a good framework to work within and a lot more information to use. Tell me a little bit about that.
Right. So we receive thousands of reports a day from all over the world on broadcasts, on broadcasters, on chat conduct, right? And each of these is unique. And there's a really, really wide range of things that we have to cover. The admins actually have a book that's like this thick of all of the different things that like we've kind of come up with and like how they're supposed to deal with that. What we've wanted to do with this update is give them a framework to incorporate intent and context into there. And so why are we doing that, right? Well, if you think about it, like when the admins get a report, they have to think about, is this okay? Is this not okay, right? And the stuff that's in the middle that's hard to make a judgment call on, that's what we call the gray area. And so we're really...
That's where all the big Twitch streamers are, the gray area. They're in the gray area. You and me, we're in the black and white area. That's it. Yes, no, you're in, you're out. That's it. How is Twitch going to... Like, what Twitch is turning into seems like a nightmare. It really does. It makes me wonder, like, where is the room for creativity as far as profanity, as far as working blue? I feel like I'm at this weird point where I'm some sort of offbeat, shitty comedian on the internet who hasn't found the balls to just take his ass to the Laughing Hut or Laugh Factory and just try his material and see what happens. I feel like Lenny Bruce, you know? It's like everything is changing now and everybody's getting ultra-conservative, which is really weird. You know, it's like you're either ultra-conservative or you're alt-right. Alt-left. And the funny thing, I just can't even wrap my mind around it because both sides seem restrictive as fuck to me. You know, you got the liberals sitting here coming up with shit like this that seem like it's fascism to me, just disguised under the ruse of being all-inclusive and for the little man and it's fair and blah, blah, blah. But if we don't agree with you, you gotta go. No questions asked. March in that little oven. I kind of regret watching this because I didn't really care because I figured it wouldn't really affect me because I'm not exactly a big Twitch streamer. I don't exactly do anything too controversial. And if you can't figure out that this is all comedy and it's not the comedy you want, you know, I'm not Amy Schumer, go eat a dick. If you like Sam Kinison or Jackie the Joke Man Martling, Howard Stern in the 90s, if you like Rodney Dangerfield, Richard Pryor, etc., I'm your man. I'm YouTube's and Twitch's Bill Hicks at this point in my career on the internet. I am the new Bill Hicks. And the problem is, nobody gives a shit to hear Bill Hicks now.
Trying to provide them a roadmap for getting out of the gray area in a really important way. So this could be two things. This could be somebody maybe says something as an expletive that might be, if was directed at an individual personally, might be hateful conduct, but we know they just kind of stubbed their toe and were yelling something out. Still not okay, right? Like, well, we might...
They're talking about PewDiePie, but they don't have the balls to say it.
Issue a warning or might have a conversation with them, but it's not going to trigger, potentially wouldn't trigger automatic, ejection. On the other side, there's when people are doing actions, maybe they're doing something that's using coded language, right? Maybe they're saying something that they know a certain segment of people will hear. The common term for this is dog whistling. Maybe if the person's dog whistling, like on paper, it doesn't look like they did anything offensive, but anyone that's watching, that is like listening for that, can tell that they're doing something. So it also allows the admins to take action in that regard as well. And we think that that's really important to start to like reduce where that gray area is when it comes to these things, and allow the admins to make really intelligent decisions when it comes to how they're doing moderation.
And I know I've heard you say context a lot. I know context is really important, and one change that I think is really interesting is that admins are now going to be allowed to consider behavior outside of Twitch when it comes to harassment, as well as what's said on stream, right?
Yeah, so one thing that we noticed, and this goes back to our vision, right?
Great. Now I can't pick on DSP on Twitter. Duh, man, I swear you can't have fun anymore, dude. What happened to America? It's time for story time with Uncle Gundam, Grandpa Gundam, Papa Gundam blesses. What happened to the good old days when you could just, blare your music outside of your car, feel like making love, bow, 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 bow. You see some hot chicks walking down the road, you do a burnout in your fucking Mustang, and then they're like, God, you're such a douche. At least I'm not walking, bitch. Oh, God. Dice will sue me. But for real, what happened to just being able to have some fun and say something you want? I can understand, not saying something overtly racist like we got to burn all the Jews or something. But Jesus Christ, it feels like everything's under a microscope now. There was a time you could walk down the street and drink a beer and the cops didn't pull you over. Then it became an issue. So you had to walk down the street, drink your beer in a fucking paper bag. Now you gotta hide your vodka in a water bottle because the cops are out in force looking for someone just publicly getting lit because he needs to think about what he's gonna do next because his woman left him and stole all the money out of their fucking joint account, and the poor bastard just needs a buzz while he listens to Stone Temple Pilots in his fucking iPod or whatever. Now you can't even play on Twitch and make some off-color joke. Now, I understand if it's overtly racist, maybe you need to chill it out. But if you're like, joke with your friends like you always do, then, the F word, because sometimes the word fag really offends people, flies around, which it flies all the time around me. I mean, if I had $1 for every time it's called a faggot a day, I'd make a decent chunk of money. But I don't give a shit. But there are other people who have an issue with it, so they could just run off and complain to Twitch and then your channel's gone. I'm also hearing that you have to be in control of your chat, which is damn near impossible. How could you, if you're really gaming hardcore and you got 2 screens, it's not that easy to like switch your head back and forth to see the fucking chat and see who says what, and then have it taken down before it's too late, unless like you have a really strict auto moderator policy.
It goes back to that vision of everyone being able to bring their full, authentic selves to the Twitch community without fear of harassment or hate, right?
Do you see the double talk here? Bring your full authentic self with this proviso. If your full authentic self violates any of our community guidelines.
And there are streamers, as a streamer, you're a leader of your community. And what the words that you say carry a really great weight with them, right?
I wouldn't say that. As a guy who has a stream, I don't feel like I'm leading anybody. I feel like I'm getting shit on in my own chat sometimes.
And so we want streamers and anyone in the Twitch community, for that matter, to recognize that like the things that you say are very powerful. And just because you don't say them or do them on Twitch doesn't mean that it doesn't actually affect the Twitch community as a whole.
So now you have to be on your utmost behavior even when you're not on the website. In a way, it seems restrictive. It's restricting you from being your full authentic self in your own personal time, not on the Twitch channel. Is this not a form of control? Is this not somewhat James Orwellian? I mean, is it not? The thought police, we're always watching you. Essentially, is that we are watching you. We have people watching you. What the fuck? You better watch out. You better not get on Tinder and send any dick pics or you'll be in trouble.
And so to better protect the Twitch community, we are now going to allow people to submit links to content that they feel is hateful or harassment in their reports. So to be clear, Twitch isn't going to be like hooking up to these other systems and doing a big ingest and looking through and like with a big magnifying glass and trying to find things. But we want to give another tool to victims of harassment and hateful conduct to make sure that the admins can more greatly consider that as part of this, right?
Right, and so it's about kind of finding that verifiable behavior.
Yes.
And before we were more limited to the Twitch platform itself.
Notice how this chick has not put down her phone once. I bet her script is on it.
Right, and so the real key word that you use there is verifiable. We're only going to take action when it's verifiable that that the counts may be linked, that we know from
And if that isn't a script she's looking at, she really doesn't give a flying fuck right now.
previous interactions with someone that is their account. And also we're going to be very wary of people trying to also, doctor evidence and things like that.
Right.
The admins are going to be on the lookout for that as well.
Great.
And the one reminder that we have for people when it comes to all of this is that really what this comes down to is that we are asking people to recognize the power of the words that they have. And if you're a broadcaster and you're joking with your friends on stream, we want to remind you that you should be conscious of the fact that you're choosing to stream in that moment and that your words are reaching a lot more people than they normally would, and they have the potential to do a lot more damage. And so we want...
It's kind of funny. You're just some fucknut on Twitch 9 times out of 10, unless you're a huge Twitch streamer. You're gaming with your friends, you're joking around, whatever. But now you have power, apparently. You have power to change the world. Who knows? You saying "fist me, daddy" may inspire that 17-year-old kid to experiment with a soda bottle in his asshole. You don't know the power you have, Corey. With great power comes great responsibility. I forgot the fucking line.
I want you to be really conscious of this. And one of the ways that you can be more conscious about this is like, if you are joking, we're not saying that humor is allowed, but explicitly state like, guys, that was a joke. Like, I don't actually believe that. Like, that is absurd. Like, we're just having a good time. Don't leave it up for interpretation.
Because when you do a magic trick, everyone knows the magician after does the trick, he tells you how he does the trick. Because we know when comedians get on stage and they tell jokes, after the comedian tells the joke, the comedian then goes, "I'm serious. I didn't really go down to Tijuana and help them traffic drugs through my asshole by swallowing condoms full of cocaine. It's all humor here at the Laugh Factory. I'm just trying to make you laugh. Just understand you're not supposed to do that." The whole purpose of entertainment is that it is a source of taking you away. At no point in Shakespeare's play does the guy who played Hamlet turn around and then go, "I didn't actually know Yorick very well. I'm playing the character of Hamlet in Shakespeare's play." What the fuck? I mean, really. I don't know. It's just like, what does this say that you think about the people who watch Twitch streamers? Do you believe that they're that mentally small, that they have no common sense? That they can't tell that this might be over the... Fuck, man. Now that I think about it, Jake Paul's fans defend him every time he does something stupid. Maybe they're onto something. I'm gonna go get a Pop-Tart. Damn dog. Whining. Maybe you shouldn't have ate my boots and then shit the floor.
Leave that wiggle room for someone to say like, "Oh, he's serious that he hates that group of people," or "He's serious that he doesn't think or she doesn't think that group of people is intelligent or whatever else it is. We really feel
he caught himself right there because he's already in the mindset that mostly it's men fucking up like this. Women never do anything wrong.
Strongly that we want streamers to recognize that, you know, with great power,
great responsibility.
Yeah, exactly.
As always.
Thanks, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh God, Spider-Man, how I wish you were dead.
You know. That's great. I think it's always really good to hear that we're working on kind of clarifying and getting down to the root of making sure that we do everything we can to prevent harassment on Twitch. I think that for me, that's personally something I'm really passionate about. But I know that's not the only thing you came here to talk about today. You mentioned sexual content is another area. So tell me a little bit about what even is sexual content? What are we referring to there?
Yeah. So to start with, I'm going to go into a little bit of how we think about this on Twitch. The Twitch community is an open global community with people of tons of different cultures, of tons of different ages as well. And because of that, we don't feel that sexual content is appropriate for Twitch. Previously, the guidelines had two words about this. They said that overtly sexual content. And now a lot of people thought like, oh, that's just stuff that's like people would mark like not safe for work. That's stuff that's like way over the line, right? But we wanted to really provide more context and a larger...
Yeah, like chicks sucking on bananas, like giving it a blowjob. Good work, Twitch. You really cracked down on that.
Framework for how we as Twitch look at this, right? So we've changed the terminology to be sexually suggestive. And so when somebody is being sexually suggestive, or that's the primary focus of their stream, or we think that's a large part of what their stream is about or what their content is about, that is not going to be allowed on Twitch. So the next question that everyone has, right, is like, how do you determine what's sexually suggestive, right? Well, we wanted to use a really comprehensive framework, again, of multiple different categories to kind of look at, right? So what we're going to be looking at is we're going to be looking at things like the camera angles that are used, the stream titles that are used, content on the profile, what kind of attire is the broadcaster wearing, what kind of actions is the broadcaster engaging in.
There goes all those chicks that have like links to like their Patreon where you could buy special photos of them that are not safe for work and nudes and shit like that. Delicious. At least I'm not the only one going down in flames. Can't wait to see these chicks doing live webcam shows on Pornhub though, dude. Totally donating to that.
And there's a few other ones that are listed in the help article that the admins are going to kind of use in a way. And so this approach really allows the person to go to say that like, okay, like Brian has a like joke in his stream title that's like a little bit sexual, but like everything else is fine, right? So that's okay, right? Okay, but now Brian has a sexual joke in his title and is also wearing a mankini on stream. Like, okay, we need to... Now both of those things become relevant and they kind of amplify it.
And what is he saying?
Why are you saying Brian? Why don't you have the balls to say the Twitch streamers? The chicks who stick stuff between their boobs and pretend they're jerking off. Jesus, no wonder they call this guy a beta cuck.
About
and then what is he saying about it?
You know, what are the reactions to it?
Yes.
Men are bad. They're the ones that are behind this.
And so one new concept that we're introducing too is like, we're not going to be specifically policing how broadcasters monitor their chat. But in this example, if you don't moderate your chat and you allow overt sexualization or objectification of the stream content, that might be a point that kind of goes into how the admins are making this overall determination of if something is sexual content or not. But we specifically wanted to kind of get out of all of the attention and focus on someone's clothing. And we want to kind of turn that over to the broadcaster to use a much more common sense approach.
Yeah, so the focus is going to kind of move away from clothing, but is there anything to be said about clothing?
Yeah, so we've gone back and forth for Twitch on like what clothing has been. In the past, we've had like a specific dress code, and then we sort of moved away from that. But now that IRL exists, we thought it was really important to kind of address that again, because certain things that would have been against the rules in the old guidelines are actually okay. And I know this is confusing, so I'm going to try and break it down a little bit more. So for gaming streams and when you're doing normal stuff, we're just kind of instituting a common sense approach. You've got to be wearing clothing that's like appropriate for general public use. So like if you're going to the mall, if you're going to the restaurant with your friends, if you're going to work, just like a normal, like it's kind of one of those like if you know it when you see it, right? That being said, like if someone, again, like you have to be careful because like if you're wearing clothing that's extremely...
There's so many chicks that are fucking done on Twitch, dude. So many. I've like seen clips of them on other websites. The top Twitch cam girl fails, and I would get mad like looking at all the money they're getting. The girls aren't doing anything, just sitting there in like these stockings and shit and these knee-high socks. Just sit, and my cat, you know, he vomited on the floor. Oh my god, it was so nasty. And she's got her tits out. I'm sitting there like, why would you support this when there's porn? Why? Are you under some false delusion she'll pay you attention? Good God, they are dropping soy boy all in this chat.
Revealing, or if you're wearing clothing that's not appropriate, it could be used in that other framework we just talked about, right? And say like that's one point into looking at how they're going to evaluate the stream. So then for IRL, they're like, well, what if I'm at the beach, right? Like contextually appropriate is to wear a swimsuit, and we are going to allow that. We're going to allow, if you're at the beach, if you're at the gym, there's going to be separate standards for that. But you still have to keep in mind the first topic we talked about, which is the new framework that they're using to determine if something's sexually suggestive. They're still going to be looking at camera angles. They're still going to be looking at your conduct and the content of your stream. So we want to empower people to kind of operate within these rules in a kind of common sense way. And for people that are trying to skirt the rules, give us a way of kind of determining, of saying, okay, your intent here is to be sexual, and that's not going to be allowed.
I think it's really important to mention here, too, because we've gotten really detailed about what's appropriate.
You know what makes me mad? Not once did he mention women. His example was of guys, which was ridiculous. Not once did he just say the cam girls, because I guess cam girls is one of the offensive words you can't say. You can't call a cam girl on Twitch a cam girl, which is a cam girl. How come they're protected yet you want them gone? This shit is so double talk.
To wear and all of that kind of stuff. I know that you were talking to me yesterday about how this is not an excuse to, as a viewer, maybe harass a streamer for what they're wearing or comment on their clothing.
Yeah, so we want to be really clear about this, is that like if you think someone's breaking the rules on Twitch, you should report them. Don't actually harass them yourself. Don't actually respond to them. Don't actually put things in chat and kind of try and call them out. Or you might actually find yourself on the other end of kind of the banhammer. Because it's really important that we let the admins who are professionally trained and vetted make those decisions and not try and like make that call yourself. We want to really limit the sort of like mob mentality, because there are a lot of streamers that are in good faith with Twitch that have unfortunately been the victims of harassment. And we want to make, and to those of you that have been harassed in that way, we as Twitch want to say, we're standing with you, and we want to make sure that you feel back to our overall mission, right? Free to bring your full authentic self to the platform and be free of hate and harassment.
And be yourself in a way,
And
right?
be yourself. And there's two more things I want to say, because I saw some things on Twitter already that people are being confused. Yeah. Body painting is okay. Body painting is, again, like if the context is like I'm doing body painting, like
oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, that was another woman picking up dog shit, and I could hear this shit where they're like, don't harass the streamers and don't report them too much, or you'll find yourself on the other end because they're in good standing with Twitch. And then he talks about body painting, and I know who he's talking about. It's this chick that like AMD was sponsoring for. Her Twitch, and they gave her some crap, and she was body painting herself to be the AMD girl, and she had pasties on her nipples, and they're like, body painting's okay. Body painting's okay? A chick who's basically only her nipples are covered by the pasties, and she paints her whole fucking half-naked goddamn body, that's fine? Oh, go fuck yourselves. Because she's popular. I knew it. A lot of these Twitch streamers are in good standing. Yeah, because they make you money. You capitalist pigs.
Like, you're going to be, that's another contextual thing that we're going to kind of consider. And also, that also includes cosplay. If you're cosplaying, we understand that. But
they get a lot of reports from people going, like, how is this not, like, how is this okay on Twitch? And they've probably gotten so many fucking messages about it. They had to make a point of that in this video. The girls who cosplay and show themselves half naked with their tits and shit out are fine. And the chicks who do body paint are fine. But don't you dare say, you dirty Jew, you're banned.
Again, you have to keep in mind all of those other attributes we mentioned, like camera angles, stream titles, conduct and chat. All of those things are all going to be taken a look at.
So am I correct in hearing that a lot of this is about the intent of the stream?
Yes, all of these things are really about figuring out what the intent is, and it's something that's really hard to tell, right? Like, it's something that's really difficult to glean. So we wanted to kind of create like checklists and guidelines and all these things around that, so that the admins can be empowered to sort of like make this as structured as possible, and so that we can like really make sure that we're making the right decision.
Great. Well, I know that there's so much more to cover here. There's a lot that we could talk about, but we only have so much time here in the studio. So where can people go to find details and kind of educate themselves on the finer points, or maybe even ask questions?
Yeah, so there's 2 links that you can check out. The full community guidelines are...
I love the chat. The chat is just exploding with people's real-time reactions to this stupidity. And all I can think is like, God, Twitch is actually going to be worse now. So if you're basically a guy with a personality, a sense of humor, and comedy, you have to make sure that you pepper in after every joke how whatever the fuck you said isn't okay, even though it's hilariously funny. Because your audience is too stupid to understand or exercise common sense. But if you're a popular Twitch streamer female who's famous for cosplaying and being half naked, and if you're a female who happens to do body paint and you're half naked, that's okay.
link.twitch.tv/community guidelines. You can also just search for them and they'll pop up. And then there's link.twitch.tv/hateful conduct policy. You can read the Learn More article that we've created about hateful conduct. And for sexual content, there's link.twitch.tv/sexual content. And that will bring you to our help article that has kind of the more nuanced explanation and all of the one that's approved by the lawyers.
Awesome. Great. And so I know you
I forgot to laugh.
mentioned that there's a lot coming, that you're still, people are still working really hard to continue on these improvements. What's kind of coming next?
Yeah, so we've got a lot of stuff coming next. Like I mentioned, we're going to talk more about IRL. We're going to talk more about enforcement, and we're going to be rolling out a lot more tools and things like for broadcasters. We just actually released today, AutoMod's now checking usernames. So a lot of people were using usernames for harassment. Now AutoMod's going to be checking that to make sure that people aren't being able to do that. In addition, in the coming weeks, there's going to be some other changes to AutoMod so that you can add blocked terms and add permitted terms right from your dashboard. You could do that previously, but it was kind of buried in the settings menu. But now also, your moderators are going to be able to do that for you. So if you want your mods to go ahead and start fine-tuning AutoMod even more, and there's one other big change that's coming out for AutoMod that I'm personally really excited about. Previously, we had 5 levels for AutoMod that judged.
There's a level for AutoMod where it deletes your channel for you.
On a bunch of different categories, like hateful conduct, like harassment, and things like that. And it would automatically sort of select your level. Now, you can select from 5 levels to all of those different individual categories. So maybe you don't want any harassment, you don't want anything else, but you really want swearing to be allowed. That's totally okay. You can totally change up how that works. And as a broadcaster, we've added one more thing. You can set blocked terms to private so that your moderators can't see them either, which means you can put things like your address, your phone number, any other kind of personal details about yourself that you can put there, and those will never show up for anyone and no one will be able to see them. So there's a lot of cool things coming up.
So ways to
Fantastic. Now you can dox yourself.
kind of protect yourself and fine-tune how you want your community to look like.
Yeah, so outside just the rules, where the engineers are actually building things that will help the community, handle all of this stuff. We know it's a lot to deal with your community when it's growing and growing and growing, and you want to keep a certain type of community and a vibe going. We want to give you the tools to do that. So there's one other thing that we should cover before we leave, and that's when the rules go into effect.
Oh, yeah.
And so the rules go into effect Monday, February 19th. So if you are a streamer, you should definitely take the time to go back and look through your VODs and look through your clips and make sure that everything is going to be on the up and up with the new guidelines.
So wait, whoa, what? So now you have to go through all your old clips and videos, and if they're not on the up and up, you have to delete them? Shut the fuck up!
As a streamer, you're responsible for all of the content that's on your profile. We wanted to give people a little bit of time to kind of to take care of that. And while we're not going to be reopening previous reports, all of the reports in the system that have previously been made are staying closed. If somebody goes and reports something that's happened, a few months ago, and we're in this new territory after February 19th, the admins are going to look at it. So we wanted to make sure that all of the streamers had enough time to go ahead and make sure that all of your content is good for the new rule.
This has to be one of the dumbest changes I've ever heard of in my fucking life. Oh, all the old reports, they're out the window. But if someone reports something you did months ago, we're going to look at it again anyway. What the fuck? I mean, I don't even think I'd be in any sort of trouble, but still, I see the writing on the wall here.
Great. Well, I hope we're moving into a situation where the community is going to be really strengthened by this, and I'm really excited about these changes. Is there anything else we should know?
Yeah, so we wanted to just say that, we take our responsibility to the community to heart. We know that we have a huge responsibility to foster the community, and we know that people have wanted us to sort of act quicker here. And I hope you understand that we've done the best job.
This sounds like another case of the vocal minority making changes for the silent majority. It's just one of those instances where the people who complain the most are the ones that were listened to, and the rest of us who didn't even know that there was an issue on Twitch or cared to even look at it. It's fucking Twitch. It's another internet website that's a little too popular. And at this point, you're starting to think, God, I hope something comes along and kicks them in the ball.
Possibly can, and making sure that these updates are going to be the right ones for the community. And we have more coming along. We're going to increase the frequency of updates on policies, on safety products, on all of these things, because we want to make sure that the Twitch community is always a community that we're all proud to be a part of. If you have feedback about the community guidelines, one of the biggest things that we do is we talk to people in the community, and we listen on all the different channels, on all the different subreddits, on Twitter, on YouTube. We look everywhere. If you're trying to talk to us, we're trying to listen. And so if you go to link.twitch.tv/cgfeedback, you can give us feedback, and we're going to be taking a look at that. And as a matter of fact, if you have questions about how these policies work, or what the future of Twitch holds, if you ask those questions, we're going to be back in the studio tomorrow during Twitch Weekly, and we are going to answer some of those questions because we know we probably, as much as we try to get everything out there so that it'd be really clear, we know that sometimes things can need a little bit of explanation.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're joining us on Twitch Weekly tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that you came to join us here in the studio. I know that you've been really busy working hard on this, and so many people here at Twitch have, so thank you for all that hard work. Thank you at home for all of your
amazing feedback. You guys didn't say anything to the chat.
Community, you are the ones that drive what we do here at Twitch. And Brian,
if you read your own chat, you realize nobody was liking any of this stuff going on. I didn't see anyone go yay for anything except for the tit streamers getting ripped down.
Anything that you want to say to them before we leave, or have we got it covered so far?
No, I think we got it. Really proud of the community, and I'm really, really hopeful and optimistic for how we're going to continue to be awesome and grow in the future.
Yeah, me too. I hope you see that a lot of people here care about you, want you to be happy and safe. So go forth, be good, and we'll see you tomorrow on Twitch Weekly. Bye.
That's exactly what all the fascists say when they take away your rights and hold you accountable for things that shouldn't even be seen as crimes. When they tell you it's all in your best interest, we love you and we care. That's why when you go to the airport, we have to play with your balls, check your shoes, check your toenails for plastic explosives. You fucking serious? Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Basically, I've upset myself by watching this. What didn't matter to me at all, I now see is another just glaring problem, an issue. Something to be seen as scary, really. It encroaches on a lot of your rights and simple freedoms. The fact that you just can't go on another site and talk your shit is scary. What the hell is this? And it isn't like Twitch is paying a lot of people's bills. Twitch is very exclusive. Or I should say excluding. If you aren't a big streamer, Twitch really doesn't give a fuck. And when big streamers fuck up, Twitch really doesn't give a fuck. Because they make the money. The only people that will truly be affected by this are the small fry, such as myself. And frankly, if I got yanked off Twitch, I would be very pissed. Considering I don't feel I've done anything wrong, but who knows, I stay in trouble. And I would gladly go to YouTube Gaming. Now I might start streaming over there. It figures as soon as I join this shit, this happens. That always happens. The second I jump on something, that's when it goes to shit. Oh, you gonna make YouTube videos now? Yeah. Ad revenue's garbage. Good luck making that content. What? Oh, you want a new graphics card? Yes. No, new graphics cards are coming out now. Good luck with that. What?